Within each person lurks an incredible, yet dormant power. It is invisible, but has the ability to quietly but profoundly transform. This power has already come to the rescue many times at crucial moments in life, giving energy and determination when, it would seem, all strength was at an end. It is available every day, but for some reason it is not used consciously. Imagine that understanding the principles of its operation can dramatically change your life. The paradox is that many people throughout their lives never realize that they carry this amazing potential within them. All attention is usually absorbed by external circumstances, work, social networks, pressing problems, and in this bustle is often forgotten the need to look inside themselves. It is there, in the depths of the human being, that this power resides, patiently waiting to be discovered. What is this power? How to get access to it? The answers to these questions are close at hand, and the information obtained may become the missing element that will lead to the transformation of reality. It is a power that has always been around, but has gone unnoticed. Have you ever thought that the answer to an important question has been inside for a long time? The many challenges you face may be much closer than it seems at first glance. It is not about some magical solution or external factor, but about the power that is inherent in every human being from the moment they are born. This inner energy accompanies you throughout your life's journey, and you probably realize it. And what if we assume that the simple acceptance of this thought can radically change your existence? The amazing thing about this power is that it is invisible. It does not attract undue attention, does not shout its presence, and does not require a close look. It manifests itself in everyday trifles, in intuitive clues that help you make important choices, in a sense of peace in the midst of the bustle, or in the inexplicable premonition that everything will work out in the best possible way. This power is subtle, barely perceptible, yet it has tremendous transformative potential. Why then do so many people live their lives without realizing its existence? The answer is quite simple. We are so immersed in external events that we rarely look inward. We live in a world that values only what can be seen, measured, and rationally explained. However, as we know, the most important things often remain invisible to the eye. This invisible power is just such a phenomenon. This inner power, which is independent of external factors, be it place of birth, financial well-being, or past experience, is universally shared. It is always available, and all one has to do is be willing to pay attention to it and begin to explore it. Perhaps you have ever felt some kind of guidance in your life, something that guides you, even if it defies logical explanation. It may be a manifestation of that very power, and if you have not had such an experience, you should not despair, because you are already taking the first step towards reconnecting with it. The question arises, why do we often overlook what is invisible? From childhood, we are taught to rely only on what can be seen, touched, measured, explained. We are raised in a world that requires concrete proof of everything. If something cannot be measured, it is as if it does not exist. But doesn't such a narrow perspective rob us of something much more meaningful? Think of how many times you have ignored your own sensations and intuition, just because they seemed illogical. It is quite remarkable how often people, without realizing it themselves, rely on the unseen on a daily basis. A breeze caressing the skin of your face, but remaining invisible to the eye, or love overflowing in your heart but having no tangible form, are all part of everyday life. Yet, paradoxically, many doubt the existence of something like fear, of something that escapes their control. A significant portion of this fear stems from facing the unknown. Trust in the unseen requires a great deal of courage, for it means giving up the desire to have all the answers. It means recognizing that life in its entirety is much larger and more complex than human minds can comprehend. This state is awe-inspiring on the one hand and liberating on the other. Isn't it amazing to realize that there is something beyond what is available to our vision? Perhaps one of the most difficult challenges for modern man is the ability to slow down. People are so accustomed to looking to the outside world for answers and validation that they often forget to listen to the inner voice. But if you stop for a moment and allow yourself to feel the moment, you may discover deep wisdom waiting to be heard. The author encourages the reader to reflect. How often in our lives have each of us neglected that inner voice, that vague feeling or premonition that seemed to defy rational explanation? Perhaps it's time to rethink our attitude toward those inner signals. After all, we are just beginning to delve into an amazing world, hidden from view, but having a tremendous impact on our daily choices. Have you ever considered that many of the decisions we make on a daily basis are not the result of purely conscious choices? There is an entire universe within each of us that functions on a subtle, yet incredibly powerful level. It can be compared to software running in the background, imperceptibly influencing our every move. And what is most striking is that this invisible world is constantly sending us signals, even if we don't realize them. Let's remember an important decision you made recently. Perhaps you changed your job, started a new project, or moved to another city. What exactly prompted you to make this choice? Was it the result of a meticulous logical analysis, or was it a feeling that you simply could not ignore? This feeling is the manifestation of that invisible force that lives inside us. Mankind is mired in routine, so accustomed to the automatic performance of actions that rarely asks about the true motives of their actions. There is an illusion of complete control over our own lives, but in reality, our decisions are largely driven by emotions, intuitive insights, and accumulated experience. This hidden world, like a discreet guide, points to paths that are not always accessible to rational reflection. A legitimate question arises: how can we gain access to this inner wisdom? The answer is simple and lies in the development of mindfulness. It is necessary to pay close attention to the subtle signals that our subconscious mind sends, be it a feeling of comfort or discomfort, an intrusive thought that does not leave the mind, or even a dream that seems meaningful. This is how this invisible force tries to make contact with us. If someone is inclined to consider these phenomena as random coincidences, then it is worth being more vigilant when making the next decision. It may be possible to recognize that there is something more behind it, something that is beyond rational explanation, but that makes deeper sense if we trust our inner voice. Are we ready to listen to what this invisible world wants to tell us? How does our mind make connections we don't even know exist? Have you ever wondered why sometimes insights and innovative solutions come out of nowhere, as if sent by some invisible force? This is because our mind is constantly making connections between a variety of information, experiences, and emotional states, even when we are not aware of it. It acts as a background process, painstakingly piecing together fragments of a mosaic that we may not have even realized existed. These connections do not always lend themselves to strict logic. Think of those moments when you suddenly found a brilliant solution while in the shower, or during a leisurely walk. In such moments, your consciousness was not directly focused on the problem, but it imperceptibly, almost magically, connected the different aspects. This is how we reach a deeper level of creative thinking and comprehensive understanding. The secret to utilizing this power effectively is to give it enough space to fully work. Instead of constantly immersing yourself in meticulous analysis, try relaxing and trusting the natural flow of the process. The more we slow down, the more organically these unexpected connections will emerge. This is not a call to abandon logical thinking, but to humans have the amazing ability to interact with a kind of invisible creative energy that permeates all of existence. Emotional state in this process plays a key role. Often, it is the feeling of delight or peace that is a sure sign that the course of thoughts is directed in the right direction. These feelings are like little beacons that indicate which connections and ideas are most appropriate. The next time the creative process hits a dead end, or you feel a lack of fresh thoughts, it's worth trying a change of scenery, listening to inspirational music, or simply taking a short break. The results can be astounding. The mind is capable of much when given the opportunity to work in unison with this invisible force. Moreover, there are a number of signals that one feels all the time, but often does not try to understand their meaning. How many times has there been a sudden sensation of cold, a heaviness in the chest, or a premonition of an impending event? These subtle signals are not accidental. They are a kind of message that the body and mind are sending to get attention. The only question is whether a person listens to these signals or chooses to ignore them. At first glance, these sensations may seem arbitrary, but they actually carry important information. Inner feelings are a manifestation of your latent power. They are like beacons that appear at moments of significant events to warn against impending danger or point in the right direction. Often, in the whirlwind of everyday concerns, we miss these important messages, unconditionally trusting only the voice of reason. One of the biggest obstacles to understanding ourselves is knowing how to distinguish a genuine signal from normal worry or anxiety. The key here is to establish a strong connection with your inner self. When you feel a strong emotional response, you need to pause and dive into reflection. Ask yourself the question, what could this feeling mean? Often, the answers lie on the surface, but we, due to our biases, fail to notice them. It is amazing how well the body and mind work together to guide us on the right path. A sudden chill may indicate that you are on the right track, while an unexplained feeling of discomfort may warn against unwanted actions. These signals are a kind of language that you can learn and begin to understand. So, the next time you feel something unusual, don't rush to dismiss it by writing it off as an accident. Instead, try to explore your sensations. Listen carefully to your inner voice, realize it, and rely on these signs, for they can be the key that unlocks the door to your dormant power and transforms your existence beyond your wildest fantasies. Wisdom, like a precious stone, is hidden in the unassuming ordinariness of our existence. We often delude ourselves into believing that the answers to life-changing questions are hidden somewhere on unreachable peaks in distant lands. But what if the truth is that true wisdom resides in the small things of life, in the rhythm of your breathing, in precious moments spent with loved ones, or in the peaceful silence that envelops you as you contemplate the sunset? Simplicity, like a box of secrets, holds truths that we so often overlook. In our fast-paced world, we tend to overcomplicate our existence. We relentlessly pursue grandiose goals and magical solutions without realizing that the power we need is already present in the simplest, everyday moments. The problem is that we underestimate their depth and significance. Think about it. How many times have you gained clarity of thought or found inspiration while doing mundane tasks like washing the dishes or tending to your houseplants? It is these moments that allow the mind and body to reconnect, thus creating. A state of total presence is essential for a person to access their inner power. Moreover, the very simplicity of ordinary life brings each of us back to the experience of the present moment. When we allow ourselves to slow down and begin to pay attention to the smallest details of the world around us, the rustle of the wind, the warm smile of a loved one, the invigorating aroma of morning coffee, something amazing happens within us. We begin to realize that life is made up of these small but meaningful experiences, and it is in them that the secret of true happiness lies. Instead of searching the outside world for what is already inherent in ourselves, we should try to focus our attention on simple, everyday moments. We need to learn to find the magic in the details and the wisdom that only the present can offer. You don't need any grandiose events to discover your own power. It is already there, hidden in the simplest and most beautiful manifestations of life. When was the last time any of us heard silence? Silence is frightening to many people. In a world overflowing with noise, it can seem uncomfortable to stop and hear what lies beyond the familiar sounds. But few people know that it is in silence that the deepest and most important answers are born. Think about it. When was the last time you gave yourself the opportunity to immerse yourself in silence to listen to the inner voice of your mind, body, and soul? It is in stillness that a mysterious connection to something greater than ourselves takes place. Silence is like a bridge between our consciousness and that invisible but powerful force that resides within each of us. In these precious moments, all distractions recede, and we begin to notice what is usually hidden behind the veil of everyday worries and bustle. Each pause in silence is a unique chance to reconnect with both yourself and the world around you. It is noteworthy that silence does not always imply complete absence of sounds. Even in the midst of external noise, one can find inner silence, a state of conscious presence, when everything but the present moment loses its significance. Taking deep breaths, observing your own thoughts without judgment, and simply being in the here and now are simple but effective ways to find this peaceful space. Often, we avoid silence for fear of what it might reveal to us. It forces us to face our emotions, fears, and deepest desires. But it is this courage to look inside ourselves that gives us access to in the search for the inner power so desired by everyone, silence appears as a kind of mirror that can reflect our true nature. Is it worth taking just a few minutes a day to immerse ourselves in this silent harbor? Putting aside the phone, closing our eyes and focusing on our breathing may seem unfamiliar at first, but over time this simple practice will open our eyes to its transformative power. Silence is a kind of gateway to the inner source of energy, and all it takes is a step toward it. There is a kind of hidden connection between our thoughts and reality, a fine line between what we think about and what we experience. It is in this gap that true power lies. Our thoughts shape our perception of the world, but there is something deeper, the feelings that arise between one thought and another. Have you ever noticed that elusive space? It's like fertile soil where our intentions and emotions begin to take shape in preparation for manifestation in the real world. Think about it, because our beliefs, conscious or not, have a direct impact on every choice we make. There is an invisible link, a kind of bridge that connects our thoughts and actions, ideas and their realization. It is this elusive relationship that transforms abstract concepts into tangible reality and cherished dreams into accomplished events. But how can we penetrate this mysterious realm between conception and realization? The first and foremost step on this path is awareness. It is necessary to learn to carefully monitor your own thoughts, not allowing your consciousness to wander aimlessly in the labyrinth of endless ideas. It is important to ask yourself the questions: what is the cause of this thought? What effect does it have on my feelings? This seemingly simple practice helps us realize the immense power hidden in this transitional moment. It is in this interval that we have the opportunity to reframe our emotions and align our intentions. For example, a negative thought can easily be transformed into a powerful stimulus for positive change. The secret is to pay attention to this moment of pause and observe it without judgment, allowing this invisible space to work in our favor. It is worth remembering that our reality is not only shaped by external circumstances, but also by our own choices of how we feel and what we believe. The power lies in this very space between thought and action. By paying close attention to it, one can discover limitless possibilities. man is able to consciously and powerfully shape the fabric of his existence, utilizing the potential that connects him to the vastness of the universe. Does it ever feel as if one's own existence is part of something grandiose? As if there is some omnipresent energy that weaves all things together, an invisible thread that unites every living thing in the cosmos. This power is not just a beautiful metaphor, but a reality that can be felt and realized if you let yourself. This interconnectedness manifests itself in a variety of ways. In the empathy one feels when helping others, in the sudden burst of inspiration, in the inexplicable feeling that a higher power is protecting one. Such moments are a reminder that no one is alone in this world. There is something deeper that goes beyond the visible. The most amazing thing is that this power is not somewhere far away, out of reach. It also resides within, waiting for a person to make contact with it. Every human being is like a drop in the vast ocean and is at the same time part of the infinity. When this realization comes, everything changes. Worries and worries recede into the background. When the hustle and bustle of everyday life subsides, a broader and deeper understanding of life opens up before us. In order to experience this powerful energy, we need to slow down and focus our attention on the truly important aspects of existence. Moments of calm, appreciation, and even the simplest acts of kindness strengthen our connection to this power. Each moment of mindful presence becomes a thread that connects us to the whole, strengthening this universal energy. It is important to remember that each of us is part of something grand. When we embrace this unbreakable connection, our lives are filled with new meaning and substance. We begin to realize that we are not separate elements disconnected from the universe, but instead are fully integrated into it. The power that binds all things together is present in us, and it is in it that we can find opportunities for a qualitative transformation of our lives. But why is it so difficult to believe in what is invisible? Throughout human history, believing in the invisible has been a challenge, because from early childhood we are taught to rely only on what we can see, touch, or measure. The physical world seems to us more reliable, more tangible, more real. However, such a belief undoubtedly limits our perception. What if it is what we cannot see that is most important and meaningful? This concept pushes people beyond the familiar, forcing them to face the unknown. Part of this predicament is generated by the fear of unpredictability. The realization that unseen factors can influence our lives evokes a sense of defenselessness. For how can we control something whose existence has no confirmation? However, this very vulnerability can turn out to be liberating. Recognizing the existence of more powerful forces teaches us to rely on higher circumstances and to relinquish excessive control, which, by the way, is another cause of difficulty. Another obstacle is our need for lightning-fast answers. We live in an age where solutions and explanations must be immediate, but the invisible functions differently. It manifests itself in subtle hints, subtle sensations, and moments of deep reflection. It requires a great deal of patience to get in touch with it, which is at odds with our fast-paced lives. In addition, we tend to focus on tangible evidence, but remarkably, even science is beginning to explore what was previously thought impossible. The latest discoveries demonstrate that the universe and ourselves are far more complex than we ever imagined. Let's reflect on the unseen. Why not give opportunity to what is hidden from view? This is not about rejecting rational thinking, but rather about trying to combine it with something broader and deeper. Allow yourself to trust your inner sensations, even if they defy logical explanation. The invisible does not have to be manifest to exist. It has to be tangible, and then it has the potential to be a transformative force. So, how do we unlock this potential and channel it in a creative way? Now, realizing the constant presence of this invisible energy, the key question becomes, how do we practically access it? The answer, surprisingly enough, lies in simplicity. No complicated rituals or mysterious incantations are required. Everything starts with a single step: immersion in the present. It is in this state that the energy awakens and begins its work. The first thing to do is to slow down the pace of life. Carve out time in your routine to stop, take a breath, and just be with yourself. This may seem overly basic, but that's exactly the point. When you remove yourself from the outside noise, you create space for the unseen to emerge. The inner voice that we often ignore begins to sound clearer when we pay attention to our own sensations, and then a powerful flow of energy awakens within us. Another effective method for releasing this energy is to cultivate a sense of gratitude. When we sincerely appreciate what we have, we are in tune with this great, all-pervasive force. Gratitude not only opens us to new horizons, but also connects us to the best manifestations in ourselves and in the world around us. It is like an invisible invitation, allowing higher powers to act in our best interest. In addition, we need to pay attention to the signs that our intuition sends us, whether they are dreams or even minor events that seem like random coincidences. When we begin to notice these signals and act on them, we allow the invisible force to become alive and active in our lives. It is important to remember that the release of this energy is not a one-time event, but a continuous process of self-improvement. The more we open ourselves to it, the more it manifests in our lives. Over time, we begin to notice how it can transform our reality beyond recognition, beyond even our wildest expectations. There comes a point when we realize that this power has always been within us. And here we come to a key point of understanding. This elusive energy, like an invisible compass, has always been within your personal reach. It dwelled invisibly in the depths of your being, manifesting in every decision you made, in every moment when you relied on your inner insight or triumphantly overcame difficulties. It was tirelessly present at your side, acting as an invisible mentor, guiding you along life's path. The mystery was never in the tedious search for this power externally, but rather in the conscious recognition of its continuous presence within you. Often, in our pursuit of a sense of wholeness, we mistakenly believe that we need something from the outside, whether it be an inspiring educational course, the coveted job we've always dreamed of, or the perfect romantic relationship. However, the truth is that everything you long for is already hidden in the depths of your own self. When you realize this profound truth, something truly transformative happens at the deepest level of your consciousness. You stop fruitlessly looking outward and begin to actively create your own reality. It is at this point that you realize that you have the undeniable ability to shape your life as you see fit. It doesn't matter at all what challenges you have faced on your path or the circumstances in which you were born. This powerful force is yours by right and is eagerly waiting for you to finally start using it. Every thought, every feeling, and every action you consciously choose has the potential to transform your reality. However, this amazing discovery also carries with it a responsibility: to use this power with full awareness and wisdom. You are no longer hostage to circumstance, and your future is entirely in your hands. Man is no longer a passive observer, guided by a series of random events, but is now the creator of his own destiny. This new reality can certainly cause some anxiety, but at the same time, it offers an unparalleled sense of freedom. Why not take advantage of this moment and start taking action right now? You need to believe in your inner power, your potential, and channel that power into creating a life that is a true reflection of your inner self. If this material has helped you realize your own inner power, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss out on new, inspiring episodes. Together, we will continue to explore a variety of ways to unlock our potential and create a life of deep meaning and fulfillment. See you soon in the next video.